Welcome to music lesson number 6.
Hello everybody, hello. Hello everybody, hello. Swish, snap, clap. Hello everybody, yes hello everybody. Hello everybody, hello. Swish, snap, clap. Hello everybody, hello. Hello everybody, hello. Swish, snap, clap. Hello everybody, yes hello everybody. Hello everybody, hello. Swish, snap, clap.
Some of you remember a couple of weeks ago my family and I did some quarantine rhythms for you. Just had some fun with words and rhythm, and I asked if there's anybody who might want to send in their family doing their version of a quarantine rhythm, and the Galbraith family sent me a delightful little rhythm that they're going to share with us now.
We are the Galbraith clan.
We are the Galbraith clan.
And this is our Corona plan.
This is our Corona plan.
We wear soft pants all day.
We wear soft pants all day.
Ride our bikes instead of play.
Ride our bikes instead of play.
School at home is no fun.
School at home is no fun.
Makes mommy want to hurt someone.
Makes mommy want to hurt someone.
But we all try to do our best.
We all try to do our best.
And then we let God do the rest.
And then we let God do the rest.
Little red wagon painted blue. Little red wagon painted blue. Little red wagon painted blue. Skip to Maloo, my darling. Roll that brown jug down to town. Roll that brown jug down to town. Roll that brown jug down to town so early in the morning.
Now, if you remember, those would both be examples of folk songs. Easy to sing, you can change the words around, do fun things with it. Well, the song I'm going to sing with you today is a song that you might recognize. I know that we have it in a book at home that I read to my kids when they were younger. And I considered it kind of a nursery rhyme that had a little song to it. And let me sing it for you before I explain a little bit more about it. Ready?
Polly put the kettle on. Polly put the kettle on. Polly put the kettle on. Let's all have tea.
So maybe you recognize it, a little ditty. That is not a folk song. And it's not even a nursery rhyme. It is a legit, somebody composed this song 225 years ago. And it was actually a dad. Maybe it was a dad in his own kind of quarantine. But it was a dad who heard his kids play. He had 5 kids, 2 boys and 3 girls. And as you can imagine, they didn't like playing the same thing, right? I mean, boys like playing different things than girls. Well, the girls got really tired of the boys bugging them during their playtime. So they devised a clue when they wanted the boys to leave, because probably sometimes they played games together. Well, when the girls didn't want the boys around anymore, they would tell one of the sisters named Polly to put the kettle on for tea. And that was a cue where the boys would just go, I don't want to stick around for tea. So they would leave. Huh! And the girls would think, we did it. And then after the boys left, they would tell Susan, Suki, take the kettle off. They've all gone away. They called Susan Suki. And so there was this dad that wrote the song. Polly put the kettle on. We'll all have tea. Suki, take it off again. They've all gone away. It was a legit song written a long time ago. I'll sing it for you again.
Polly put the kettle on. Polly put the kettle on. Polly put the kettle on. Let's all have tea.
All right, the boys left.
Suki, take it off again. Suki, take it off again. Suki, take it off again. They've all gone away.
Now, we can do some fun things with these songs that I'll show you in a couple weeks, a super fun thing we can do. But for now, I'm going to have Mr. Nelson just kind of speak in rhythm one of the songs that we've learned, and I'm going to sing Polly Put the Kettle On. So we'll see how that works. We haven't even practiced it.
What do you want me to say again?
You say roll that brown jug down to
Down,
town.
that's right.
Roll that brown jug down to town. Maybe you want to join. Some of you join Mr. Nelson.
Help me.
Some of you join me. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
You can start and I'll join in.
Roll that.
No, I don't want you to.
Roll that jug down to town. Roll that jug down to town so early in the morning.
Polly put the kettle on. Polly put the kettle on. Polly put the kettle on. Let's all have some tea. In other lessons, we've been looking at instruments of the orchestra. And there are different families, if you remember, different families of instruments. There's the string family, and we looked at Caroline and her viola. And then there's the woodwind family, and I showed you my oboe. And there's also a brass family. And today we're going to look at a video of a man who plays trombone in the Minnesota Orchestra. He's going to show you a little bit about the trombone and play some music for you. And after that, we're going to watch a group of brass instruments play a song called The Flight of the Bumblebee. I thought it would be interesting for you to see these instruments played with excellence, and they're playing a song that's supposed to sound like a bumblebee. So see what you think of that. And the Canadian brass is what they're called. And there's 2 trumpets, a French horn, a trombone, and a tuba. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm Doug Wright. I've been the principal trombonist of the Minnesota Orchestra for the past 22 seasons. I started playing music back in 5th grade when I played the baritone horn. In 7th grade, my band director said, "Here, why don't you play this thing?" And he gave me a trombone. And I think it was primarily because I had arms long enough to play it. It stuck with me ever since. I love the sound, I love the action of it, I love everything about the trombone. One of the things I love about the trombone is its versatility. You can play a lot of different styles of music on the trombone, like this from Mozart's Requiem, this pretty melody. Or sometimes you can play really energetic, exciting music like this. See if you can guess what this is. One of the unique things about the trombone is that we have this thing called a slide. It helps me change notes. It's basically a tube with a mouthpiece and a bell, just like every other brass instrument. And in order to make a sound on it, I blow air through my lips and make them buzz like this. And I do that buzz into the mouthpiece. And put that into the horn, and it basically amplifies it and sounds like this. Now when I move the slide, it takes the tube, and as the slide goes out, it makes it longer, which makes the pitch go down. But because it's a slide, I can do this really cool thing called a glissando, which means I can get all the notes in between those notes. So by changing how fast I'm buzzing my lips and then how long the tube is, that's how I get all the different notes on the trombone. And by using that glissando, I can play music that's kind of sweet and sort of jazzy, something like this.
Did that sound like a bumblebee? Now it's time to listen to some sounds from nature again. I hope you enjoyed the sounds last week. I love listening to the different sounds of the animals and the birds. Today we're going to listen to the downy woodpecker, the squirrel, the great horned owl, a hermit thrush, a raccoon, and some mallard ducks.